President Trump delivered a more than 90-minute address at the World Economic Forum in Davos this week, outlining White House policy and U.S. strategy. He said the administration's efforts are aimed at defending Western civilization and global security. We're taking a closer look at what Trump said about China. On energy, Trump criticized Europe for abandoning energy independence and buying wind turbines made in China.
One thing I've noticed is that the more windmills a country has, the more money that country loses and the worse that country is doing. China makes almost all of the windmills, and yet I haven't been able to find any wind farms in China. Did you ever think of that? It's a good way of looking at it. They're smart. China's very smart. They make them, they sell them for a fortune. They sell them to the stupid people that buy them, but they don't use them themselves. They put up a couple of big wind farms, but they don't use them. They just put them up to show people what they could look like. They don't spin. They don't do anything. They use a thing called coal, mostly. But China goes with the coal. They go with oil and gas. They're starting to look at nuclear a little bit, and they're doing just fine.
He also highlighted Bitcoin, backing digital assets and ordering the creation of a U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve. The U.S. now holds an estimated over 200,000 Bitcoins. It's more than any other government and slightly surpasses China.
I did it for two reasons. Number one, I thought it was politically good, and it was. I got tremendous political support. But more importantly, China wanted that market, too. It's just like they want the AI. And we've got that market, I think, pretty well locked up. If I didn't do it, we have to make it so that China doesn't get the hold of it. And once they have that hold, we're not going to be able to get it back.
During the address, Trump outlined economic achievements from the first year of his second term. For the fourth quarter of 2025, the Atlanta Fed's GDP Now model projects real GDP growing at an annualized pace of 5.3%. When asked about the economic recession, he referenced the COVID-19 pandemic, pointing to unpredictable factors.
There's something really bad happening in China. There are bodies laying all over Wuhan, right around that certain building that we talk about. I always said it came from Wuhan. It did come from Wuhan. And they were body bags. We saw it by satellite. And they said, there are strange things happening in China. And so it began. And we ended up with the COVID, and the whole world suffered. But I've always had a very good relationship with President Xi of China. He's an incredible man. What he's done is amazing. He's highly respected by everybody. And I do now. I mean, now I have good. It was very severely interrupted by COVID. I used to call it the China virus, but he said, do you think you could use a different name? And I decided to do that. Because why should we have a problem over that? But I would do that, and they were.
You're a true diplomat, huh?
I became a diplomat for the first time. Well, you know who taught me that? Marco Rubio. He said, let me teach you about diplomacy.
Chinese leader Xi Jinping did not attend this year's Davos Forum. However, Trump said he's been invited to visit Beijing in April, where he's expected to meet with Xi. On Thursday, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the U.S. relationship with China has reached what he called a very good equilibrium. He added that disagreements are now less likely to escalate into a full-scale economic conflict as they did last year. Bessent says Trump and Xi could meet up to 4 times this year.